Hello, YouTube. Hello, Distortion Survivor Curse Legacy cast postseason. Hello, viewers. Hello, anyone who just wants to watch this. Welcome to the Distortion Survivor Cursed Legacies cast assessment. We are here with me, Seb, Billy, who's also on camera. We have Timmy and Minor, Grace, and Benji, who are here to do our cast assessment. And this is a big deal because this is the first cast assessment in 13 seasons that production has done. Or no, did production do season ones? So
Yeah,
first
we
cast assessment in 12 seasons that production has done by themselves. And we're like super excited. We have 18 fantastic players that we've recruited this season. We have 10 returnees, 8 newbies. By the end of this round that you're watching, it'll be technically still 10 returnees, 8 newbies, but one of those returnees will be going over to the newbies tribe. So we will start. We're gonna start with the newbies. So the first person we have on here is Cassie. Now I don't know Cassie too well, but they've come to Distortion through Z, who played season 11. Is a good friend to us on Prod. Cassie was in Z's Prod chat, was super talkative in there. In Cassie was someone who in season 12 we tried to get to play, and this season it worked out very well for us. Gameplay wise, I don't know. They've been very active preseason, which I'm very excited for. But in regards to their actual gameplay, I think they'll make it far, just off the vibe that I'm getting.
I think we're gonna run into the same thing where it's like a lot of these players are gonna have a lot of my actual projection of eighth place because they could all make it to eighth place, right? Like I think Cassie is someone I'm viewing as a dark. I hate going right off the rip as a dark horse. We have someone who's not super connected, who in my view has been, from my experience, I've watched her. She's a very social player, super really good at that aspect of the game. And I think what one underrated thing is, and Z's going to take this the wrong way, but he can do whatever he wants. But the fact that she's able to tame someone like Z, who's a super strategic player and
That's
who kind of gets his
crazy.
own way. I mean, it kind of shows like she can be that person for some of the more aggressive people in this cast, right? Like someone who's willing to like push, she can be like, okay, well, I'm with you. Like I'm with you, but I'm not. You know what I mean? Like I think she's gonna be someone that they're gonna look at right at the end, and they can be like, if she's at the end, she's at FCC, we lose. I'm like I get that fourth place vibe, losing in fire. Honestly, like that's what I get. But that's just me. I
It's
hope she
funny.
does really well though.
It's funny that you say fourth place vibe because my entire mind right now is like I don't know much about Cassie, but everything I'm seeing out social the work, especially preseason, I was getting fifth place vibes.
Yeah, I was right there. I jumped
I
up
was
one.
like, it's one of those right there is exactly what I see right now, but time will tell.
definitely let me get on camera. Okay, well, yeah, Cassie, the only thing I know about Cassie is when Cassie was in Z's project during season 11 and saw the interactions with Z there. And I don't know, based on early impressions, she definitely gives good energy. I feel she's like a positive little force. And I feel like that's the early vibe I'm getting from her. And like especially her little action shot with her son spinning around in the chair, like it just makes you feel good, and I feel she's gonna have that energy for people, so I can definitely see that benefiting her in the long run. So I'm predicting, if I had to make a prediction, like mid later March.
We already have our first one-on-one VC call.
Very exciting.
Oh, beautiful. Let me see who's
Benji,
which me.
I don't know if Benji's around. Benji probably knows Cassie the best. So I don't.
I would say Z knows her best, but yes, out of us, I would say, um, and the reason why is because she is on my prod team. I've gotten to know her personally. She just recently joined the ranks. Um, very likable, very personable, very sociable. And I think that's a very deadly combination on top of being able to be strategic, knowing when to flip, what's going to work best for her game, understanding her consequences. I think we have a lot of crazy shit that's going to happen to these people. throughout the season as they continue, as our survivors continue to have the game unravel. I think Cass is one of those people that allows her game to be malleable. And I kind of get the same vibe. Anywhere six up, I feel is hers for the taking because I feel like she's really gonna take this opportunity by the horns, throw it, vote them out, hook them, hook. But no, I have high hopes for her. I'm doing my best not to be biased right now. But I truly also have never seen her play games, so this is a great chance from this lens to be able to see how she actually plays compared to how I heard her play. So I have a lot of hope, but I also get to analyze from my own perspective.
Right. Next up, we have Colin. Now, Colin is someone who comes to us from a recommendation from our good friend Brandon, who we had originally asked to play this season. He was not able to, but he was able to redirect us in Colin's direction. Now, I don't know Colin well. He just got out and unplugged, so I got to host him. I know he is someone who is very passionate when he is involved with something. Like all us on production knows, Unplugged is an unserious music game, and Colin is someone who very much was very passionate, I would say, about like going through each round, his placement in the season, which I loved as a host. I only know that he's played one org. I know someone in a production chat mentioned they played multiple games with him. Um, and but the only game I know him to play is Power Grab, where he got first boot, and that's very much social. So I don't know his comp abilities, but he's very likable. I just don't know how he's gonna do. I'm hoping that he can utilize this one round of socialization they have in the beginning, because I think if he can find himself in a good spot, I can see him getting like early mid merge.
I
I
can see
think,
that as well. Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
that's kind of what I was thinking, right around that range. Kind of, I'm hoping that he does well, but I also am. He doesn't have a lot of connections, right? Like I think this cast has a lot of interpersonal connections. I'm not saying people are going to rely on that, but it makes it very, even if people see it as a negative thing or a positive thing, it's at least a starting point. Colin's one of those players who I don't feel like they have a great starting point, but I'm excited to see if honestly. I'm excited. I hope the newbies kind of wipe out the vets. I really do. Truthfully, I'm hoping that the newbies can start winning challenges and stuff like that. But I do think the dynamics of that newbie tribe are way up in the air right now. I think there's a lot that could happen. It's kind of hard to predict. If I had to guess, I would say honestly, first boot post swap. Like that's kind of where I'm at right now. That's like the late. That's like the earliest I think. But I think the latest I could definitely see him making like a mid merge kind of like crucial one vote for an alliance if that makes sense. But I'm hoping he proves me wrong. I really do.
I don't have much to say except my thoughts are ninth place for some reason. I won't have thoughts about exact placement for everybody, but when it sticks out, it sticks out.
Um, in the words of Kiki Palmer, I don't know this man. Sorry to this man. However, speaking on the point of being a first boot, as someone who has experienced that more often than I would like to admit, um, that could really light a fire under his ass to really, and with the advantage that the newbies are being provided within their tribe, this really could be the thing to light a fire under their ass, prepare themselves well, and execute. If not, then it won't. I'll just leave it at that.
And like his voice is beautiful. I don't know if it's the microphone, but goodness, when he sent his intro shot, I was like, goodness gracious,
Yep.
that's amazing. Get on a call with him, you're gonna be hypnotized. And he might
Oh,
think
he gives. I was gonna say, well, meeting him when I heard his voice, he was giving frat boy. Not gonna lie, but
Very
but I will say he did say in his intro video. I think he said he does voiceovers for something, and I
yeah.
would say it. The dude, any podcast, like the dude could definitely like talk. Here's how I feel though. I feel like he has a chance to. I feel like early to mid merge for him, and the reason why is because I feel if he gets in good with these newbies, um, based on him talking and him being a podcaster, I feel like he's gonna have those social skills there, and he's gonna be a very good speaker. And I feel like as someone like me, my strength in these games is the way I speak to people, the way I carry my conversations. I feel it does a lot for myself whenever I get further, and I can see that. I can see him doing that. But then again, we get caught pretty quickly, so that's why I was saying kind of like like an earlier merge vibe. But I definitely see him being a good talker, though.
All right. So after Colin, we have Issa, who comes to us from the hypnotic world. He is Issa is Alex's IRL. They've done some shows together. Am I frozen?
No, you're good.
Oh, Billy was just sitting really still, and I just thought I froze. So Issa comes to us from the hypnotic world. They are Alex's IRL. Pretty sure that this is Issa's fourth org, second Survivor game. I don't think Issa did too well in Spellbound, but they made it pretty far both times in Hypnotic, getting second their first season and then getting seventh, eighth, question mark.
Let me double check.
What did you get, Timmy?
I got 5th.
So sixth.
Yes, Issa got 6th. Yes, in the live
So
thing.
Issa got sixth. But Issa's done really well in Hypnotic, the Big Brother format, but I know that they went pretty early in Spellbound. I'm super excited to be able to host Issa here because I was in Issa's prod chat for their original season of Hypnotic. I was able to play with them in this past season. Issa is someone who is really fun to talk to when they have the time. And I just hope that Issa doesn't fall into the loop that they did in Hypnotic, where there are some rounds they are super active and super involved in the game, and some rounds life just takes them away. And I think that could be a detriment to Issa, but Issa's social game, when it is on, it carries her. She's very they're very likable. They're someone who is very easy to get into alliances. I think Issa will do well if Issa can get themselves in the game and gets themselves into a position. It's kind of I feel like it's kind of like Colin, where like I don't necessarily think Issa will get pre-jury, but I think that at the wrong move or being not around at the right time could cost them.
I I don't know Issa that well. I'm gonna run off y'all's thing. I'm not gonna say a lot because I don't have a lot. Um, just based off of their intro videos, their prod chat excitement, they seem really motivated to want to play this game. They seem like they're gonna be active. Um, this feels like an idle out, in my opinion. This does feel like if any advantages get played, like I definitely could see. Like honestly, this might be my crazy shout. I could definitely see this being a right before merge, big shot, idle out situation, and I'm gonna stamp that. Not because she's gonna play a bad game, but I think she's gonna play too good of a game too early. That's my opinion.
I am obsessed with Issa. I love them. They're fantastic. They're a no bullshit type of player. As in like when I was on calls with them in Hypnotic, we both agree like we do not give a fuck about like um kind of the bullshit around you. Like just be straight up, not necessarily always honest, but like don't be fake. And Issa is not fake. Issa is passionate when they are going for something. I think that could be amazing or a huge hindrance, depending on the how and when of their tribe dynamics. I ultimately, and I hate to say it, in my mind, Issa is 12th place. Um, I think for similar reasons that Billy says. Big move, idle out, I could see as well. If he's and based on just their activity already, they're here to play and very exciting to see. And they are a very social player, but with a large amount of strategic ability. Physical goes back and forth. If they want to win, though, they'll put their best foot forward and do well. But so they can be an asset in the tribal immunities. I don't know how well individual will go, but their strategic power, honestly, is one of the higher ones I've seen in a while.
I'm finding. Oh, sorry, Grace.
Oh no, Benji, you can go. I'll be the last person to speak for everybody.
Okay,
Make it easier.
wait, Seb, should I do it?
No,
No,
they will
no,
kill
no.
you.
Dang it! All right. Okay. Issa, an envy icon after my own envy heart. Um, I've seen them in the community. I'm excited to watch them play. Like, I was rooting for Seb as well during Hypnotic, but I was also rooting for Issa and Timmy as well. Like,
I was like, you better say my
season
name.
I was gonna say,
season six is
damn.
an iconic. I was in your pod chat. God damn it!
You were.
Thank you. So before I was interrupted, no, this human is absolutely iconic. You can tell just within their demeanor, they have a no holds barred, no bullshit attitude. What you give to them is what you will receive. Um, Depending on how the sociability goes, that could either play in their favor, or we may see Timmy's prediction come true. I want the first to happen, not the latter. However, time will tell. I think Issa already naturally has all of those components going for them. It's now just being able to be like, okay, where do I see myself navigating this game? Where do I want to go? I need to dodge all the hooks. They bring the hatchets out. She go swing, swing. She bring it around like the Matrix. But no, I'm super excited to see them play. I'm super, super, super stoked. I can't wait.
Hey, so Issa, I feel like, especially seeing Issa's previous hypnotic performances, I feel like Issa is definitely capable of making it far and doing what they have to do in order to get there. But something with this being the second Survivor game now that Issa's playing and Issa not doing well the first time, I feel a common trend with Issa especially watching Seb play Hypnotic and also kind of seeing what contributed to their boot in Spellbound is Issa's activity. Even though you guys are saying Issa's messaging, doing all that now, that's perfect. But I do know that Issa has in the past been seen as an inactive player. And I feel with with the newbie tribe like this, if they go to a tribal, I feel like if Issa continues that inactivity trend from the previous games or it's seen as inactive, I feel like Issa could be in trouble. But if Issa's talking now and doing what they're doing, then I can definitely see longevity. And I also feel, especially V's reaction to Issa being there, I feel like V is going to be in benefit for Issa.
All right. So after Issa, we have
Also, before we switch Issa, turn the wheel. Get ready for Mike
Goodbye.
Jones to spam that video
Goodbye.
all season.
Billy doesn't even know the lore. We'll have to explain it after. So next up we have Jaywin. I don't know Jaywin too well, but Jaywin comes to us from the Bodo community. They played some other games. I know they played Persist. But I don't know Jaywin too well. I know they did fairly well this past season of Bodo, Billy. And I'm like super excited to have them. There's a fresher face to the Distortion community, you know, joining the server just for the season. But from what I've heard of their time in Bodo, they are a good player and they are very active. I'm very excited to see them play. I don't know how I feel about them right now. I'm gonna be honest. Like I'm not getting a good or bad vibe off of Jaywin, and I think that's just because they've been semi around today, but not too around to the point where I can really test where I think their social is gonna be or where their comps are going to be. I think that this round of socialization will really paint a picture for me on how I feel Jaywin will do. We'll say Jaywin gets last pre-merger.
Jaywin is an extremely social individual. Very that she relies on it. That's what she'll do. She's very good with these people. However, she is an HR director and she goes to bed early. So my guess is that she's asleep right now. Because she's up at like 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning to go to the gym and then go for that's at least how Bodo went. Up early in the morning, whatever. So I expect her to pick it up tomorrow. Do I really put my hat on her winning? I want to. I really do because that'd be such a fun winner. But I'm not exactly sure about how that's going to work. I am going to put them 7th place. I think J1 will make a good run at this season. I think the newbies will have a very strong run in this season.
I don't know Jalen, but her energy makes me really happy. Like I'm already just kind of obsessed in a way. Like
Oh,
she just
she's
seems
so
so
great.
fun and just like can bring that kind of positive energy that people will engage with. And I think also Billy, just how you mentioned that you said HR director because she could use that the work skills into the game skills, and that could be really impressive. I hope for a strong run. I don't actually have a direct placement I want to give.
Yeah, I played Bodo with Jaywin a little bit. And is very good socially. I feel like if they get in with a good group, I feel like they would get 8th place due to being the strongest connection socially. I think that's where like one of the social people usually go is like around 8th, like 8th, 7th. So I feel like if it's in a good group, we'll get there. But I think depending on the comp skills, determine if could go deeper into the end game or would just be mid merge.
Grace.
Because I said I was gonna go last for
Yeah,
everybody.
but Benji's not a Benji messaged and said he will be back to speak once he finishes eating.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I'll go. Jaywin, I just gotta say, I already stand her. Like she's cracking me up already in her chat, and just her energy, especially from those action shots she sent. She seems so much fun, and I'm just very excited with her. I have a feeling I'm gonna be obsessed with her while watching this game. I really do hope she does make it far though. That'll be pretty cool. And especially I don't know her too well, but I'm just going based on Billy's experience with her. Um, if she's a very social player, I definitely feel it's going to work out very well for her. It's just honestly, and I've seen this happen to like a few players. Like I'm gonna use Mike Jones as an example where they have a job and all that that's really early and they go to bed early. At times that could put them at a disadvantage if the tribe is full of a bunch of nocturnal people. But if there's people who have more availability around the day, then I can definitely see Jaywin doing decently well. So in my prediction, if the tribe is a bunch of people who stay up all night, I am kind of sensing like a mid pre-jury. But if they don't, and Jaywin's able to get around during the day to them, then I'm definitely sensing definitely merge. And if they're a social threat, again, people love to take the shots at them. So I'm giving like early to mid merch.
I will end with this. Jaywin, thinking about it, it's kind of giving me how I felt about Shanice last season, where their energy really gives me confidence that they will do well. But I think that Jaywin will be put in a position kind of like Shanice where they're gonna fall and they're not gonna be able to get back up. And I'm hoping that's not the case because I wouldn't wish that on all my players, but that's kind of what I'm feeling. That's the vibe I'm getting. But that being said, we will move on to the next person. I'm actually very excited for this person. Next up, we have Kathy. So Kathy comes to us kind of in a mixed bag. So Kathy played Deception with me and Timmy. Benji was the host, but Kathy also is our our resident Hype Viver representative this season. So as you know, season 11 and season 12, we had a number of Hype Viver prod and players play. This season, we only have one in Kathy. And Kathy was super social and super strategic in our season of Deception. Almost too social and strategic, like to the point where like it was pretty obvious that like Kathy had to go. And I'm hoping that, Survivor is a different format. So I'm hoping that that was just the big brother Kathy. But I think Kathy could do really well. Kathy is honestly one of the more dominant players I've played with recently. And I think that if she could find her footing and play kind of the same game that she did in Deception, just kind of like in a Survivor sense, I think with the right alliance, she can go on to win this game. But honestly, for me, Kathy's giving me like third place. Like Azir getting her cut right at the end.
Um, Kathy screams merge boot. Very much like, especially what we have planned at the merge. I think if someone's gonna get merge boot and is due to the lack of people eligible to be voted for, hint hint. I do think that some people may be a little more preemptive to taking a shot at what they perceive to be the strongest of the newbies, especially if they win early on, like I think they're going to. I'm really excited to watch her play though because I know she had a huge following of stans in Deception. uh, but yeah, I don't really have much else to say. I hope she does well. I hope all the women do well, truthfully.
Women.
I would love Kathy to be my winner pick. It's not gonna happen. And I say, Kathy, if you're watching this, I say that with so much love in my heart for you. You are an amazing human being and a social icon with, like said, too much strategy for your own good sometimes. And I think if you take what you learned in Deception, you can thrive. And she really can thrive. She takes the lessons from there, and kind of hones in on that, like, okay, maybe don't be so out there, like really like not dictating, 'cause that's not the right word I want. More so narrating and like being like a forefront in conversations and things like that. Like take a little bit more of a back seat for a little bit and then find your voice a little more because she's very good at still building those social connections that'll be able to take her further. And so I do I'm gonna agree with Seb and say third place because I can see that.
Um, Seeing a little bit of Kathy in Deception, um, I think if she played more kind of like a Sophie in South Pacific route of being having like a group, but not being like the figurehead, but having control of that group, I could see her making. I agree, like third place, third or fourth. I could see them trying to take her out in fire. Um, but I think being under the radar a little bit and then getting that control towards the end of the game post merge, I think that's where she could thrive. I believe that style of gameplay.
And I'm back. Um,
Just in time.
just in time indeed. Kathy, when you see this, first of all, love you. She what was one of the two people I personally asked to be here this season. I definitely, um, I definitely agree with what my fellow prod members had to say on Kathy thus far. As we know, the lore is, or what I currently see, she was first boot hype Viver, came into Deception, played a very nice game. The one thing I would like to see her do, um, is because normally she had pretty good reads. I need her to delve into them a little more. I also would like to see her really harness into like actuating, because she won three comps in Deception. I would like to see her really like just breathe, take a moment, and actually see, or at least continue to see at least a few more steps ahead than just like, okay, who do I want to get out this round? Because when she did have power, I feel like that's when her game slowly started to lose the plot, and because um, not only did I mean she made the moves that she made, but I think those moves so in sequential order, going one after the other, really put a target on her back late game. Yes, Survivor is far different than Big Brother, to where there's a bit more of a quite literal safety net to not be as exposed and be on two chairs compared to where everyone can look at you all the time as long as you do not have or if you do not have individual or group immunity, you really have to fend for yourself and adapt. She's very, very able to do so. I mean, I have personally got to sit and watch Kathy's Mist throughout the entirety of season two. Um, so again, one of those people I feel like has all of those components to do well. I think there are tweaks and bits here that are really going to determine where I think she can, where she will go. She has far great ability to make it into the merge. And then after that, plus I would like to see it, considering I believe this is what her second Survivor game. And again, speaking on that topic of like, okay, I had one experience, that's not going to be the same experience I had last time. With that fire under her ass, especially now with a little more experience on her back, even though albeit a different format, to be like, okay, I can see what I'm capable of. What can I do better and attach to this game? Because it's there. I do agree. Third could be for her.
Benji.
Yes.
No, sorry, you cut out for me. Either I cut out,
Oh,
or
I
you cut
stopped
out.
talking.
Oh, okay. Bless. I just always assume my computer is the issue.
Huh?
Gracie.
Kathy, just watching her play Deception, she is a very dominant player based on from what I have seen from her. And I feel like in a pre-merge phase for Survivor, I feel like that could do very well for her. But I kind of see her in the early merge because everybody's like, she's the biggest threat in the game. And she's just gonna be there, and everybody's like, yeah, let's get her out because she's the biggest threat. That's what I see happening to her.
All right, next up we had J with Jaywin, we had K with Kathy, and next up we have L with Laura. Now, Laura's been playing for a while. Laura sent me a message actually like a week ago reminding me that I asked Laura to play season 5. Um, So this is a long time coming for us. Most recently, our strongest connection with Laura would be me and Laura on the same prod team for Paradox. Laura also played Paradox. She's played a couple of other orgs around. She's played Kaleidoscope, and there's other ones. They're not coming to my head though. Laura is very meticulous. Watching Laura play in Paradox, it was very much like, okay, I'm gonna pick the time to make my moves. Very much quieter player. I don't know placement wise how I feel Laura will get because I've seen Laura do. I've always seen Laura get like mid jury both in Kaleidoscope and Paradox, but I know Laura has the brain to really think game moves through. So I'm gonna predict like a sixth or seventh place, 6-7.
No, I think Laura is someone I like watching them think. It's kind of fun. However, I think this tribe might not be the best for them. So I'm hoping they can get out of this tribe and link up with some of the old people. That's like really my thought process. Trying to think of anything else. I don't know. Um, I'm gonna predict. I'm gonna say after swap pre-merge. I think at the lowest end, but I want to be wrong.
I not a clue, honestly. Um, it's been a long time since I've interacted with Laura, so I'm like kind of at a loss for thoughts. I know they're lovely. Um, so that's always good. It's always nice when you have someone you're like excited to host. I'm actually very excited to see, especially with you guys talking about um how meticulous they are. That is exciting to see. That's really all I got. As far as placement, I could see around that like 10th place.
Yeah, if there are towards like the quieter end with this tribe, I could see them making a pass swap, and then depending on if they win immunity or not, I could see them leaving between the swap and before merge. Depending on like who's on that swap. Just because I feel like being on the quieter end and thinking about when you want to do a move, sometimes you're either you waited a little bit too long to do something, or overthinking the move you're gonna do. But I hope they do well. But I'm thinking somewhere in the post swap.
Benji or Grace.
Benji.
I guess I'll run.
Uh,
Someone say something.
I gotta get on the phone with somebody real quick. I will come back for the people I missed.
Okay.
Okay. So speaking on Laura, I got the chance to work with Laura when we did the cast assessment for season 2 of Paradox. I definitely understand that meticulous nature. Um, because when I met her, she was very charismatic, very fun, but I could also see how that first instance got to see me, or rather, allow me to see her in a like potential org setting because I have been wanting to host her for quite a little bit. And I hope I get if y'all have not played my games when you see this, I hope I get to host you outside of this. I'm just gonna clear that now. Laura, um, so I would other than that, I don't know too much about her. I'm going to assume that with her being meticulous, that she does have a very strong strategic background. Um, again, being able to understand what those consequences within her choices as she plays the game is a really big thing in also understanding, okay, when what to let go, who to let go and when, and how the twists lead to what decisions that she will potentially make. Um, Social wise, again, just because this is the first time I've gotten to see her in a player aspect, I've not seen. I look forward to seeing. Um, and yeah, I'm looking forward to be able to watch her for the first time.
All right. So after Laura, we have alphabetically, we have Nathan. So Nathan is someone as well. We've been trying to host for a while. Nathan was on the cast for Thrilltopia. Unfortunately, had to drop. I'm also pretty sure Nathan was on the cast for Trials of Raw and had to drop. So timing worked out well, but Nathan comes to us from multiple other games. I know the first game they played was Kaleidoscope, I'm pretty sure. But they've played The Collective, they played CTC, they've played a number of games since. I'm very excited to see Nathan play. Nathan is someone who, when I played with them in Wheel, was someone who like, and I love you, Nathan. I hope you don't kill me. Someone I very much underestimated. But the way that they're very much a strategic player, but not in the way that like you really think. Like they're very much like, okay, they slip their idea in here and someone else will run with it. But Nathan's the one who starts the chain. Um, and I know talking to Collective Prod and people who played Collective with him last season, if he did not miss that live night, he would have been a little better secured. It would have gone further. I think Nathan is someone who I think uh, has a really good chance if they find their footing right off the bat. And I think this tribe might be good for him because it seems like he's already chatting it up with a lot of them already, especially because compared to the returnee tribe, which has been popping off all night. The rookie tribe has really not really been talking a lot, but Nathan is one of the few people who is chatting it up with certain people. Um, Nathan is not on the house call right now, but I think Nathan will do well. I don't know how well, but I think Nathan will do well.
I think Nathan is very underestimated because Nathan was the first person in Bodo history to make it to two finals, which is I understand Nathan. I will say Nathan also can have a lot of inactive streaks, and that's just the truth. Like it's what we've all hosted Nathan before, or played with Nathan before, like where he just hasn't been around or anything like that. But when they really commit to something, they have the potential to do really well. It's really dependent on what side of the coin we get Nathan on, and I'm hoping that we get the side that is super active, really strategic, nothing really to worry about if that makes sense. I think this is a really interesting dark horse in my eyes. I could see this being a person who could get second boot or they could get second place, right? Like, and that's something that's very. I'm not going to give a prediction, but I hope they do well because I genuinely they're where they're at. It could be anywhere, so that's where I'm at.
It's been a hot minute since I've hosted Nathan. Because like I said, Nathan was in Wheel of Books. And my memory of that is so far gone because of many reasons, but Nathan wasn't a problem, and I know that much. And I always like to say when someone is not a problem because it makes me happy. Um, I do remember Nathan being a smart player, be it not always the most active, but smart in their decision making. So I don't. Oh, okay, mine are coughed, but it was unrelated. I thought he was snickering what I said. Um, I also don't really have a placement because there's a wide range when it comes to Nathan, especially with just the dynamics of the newbie tribe. I think there's a lot of people who are very social in that tribe, and people who are very not social in that tribe, or who are, I could see really kind of going in a strong split. And it really depends on what Nathan we're going to get. Because Nathan could run the show or be burnt out very fast. I have high hopes though.
I love Nathan. Um, I think I've only played Bodo with them. And in that one, you don't really have to talk strategy too much, but in there they were very smart. But also leaned on the inactive side in Bodo. So I'm excited to see them in Survivor. Um, they are underrated with strategy, so I feel like that could be if they get with the right people, I feel like people would listen to what they say or would be able to like plant some seeds to people and people could be like, that's actually a pretty good plan. Um, I'm hoping we get active Nathan because I would love to see them go really far because they have the potential to do really well.
I agree. I was one of those few people that got to play with Nathan recently this last season of The Collective. I also can corroborate on the fact that if Nathan was even a smidgen more active, Nathan would not have gone home. Um, Nathan was someone that I really wanted to work with. I think had Nathan gotten more traction, I think we really could have developed that game relationship. I am hoping that he is more active. I love hearing the fact that he is underestimated. I mean, for me personally, I don't know if it's just because um, I don't like to underestimate anyone anyway, but he gives me the same vibe that I've kind of heard around the board, like of you may underestimate him or think or maybe just think that he's not consistently on the ball, but he is always thinking, always churning something because he gives off that kind of nonchalance or that easygoing person to where it kind of lowers the guard a little bit, which will work wonders socially to kind of be able to give someone the vibe of like, oh, this person's relaxed, cool, maybe I can utilize them, maybe I can trust them with more information than I wouldn't give to other people. And I think that's going to be to his benefit as long as he really finds those moments to capitalize on that info.
And I want to specify because I like thought about it a little more. I don't think underestimated is the correct word. I feel like Nathan does a good job of underplaying himself, more so than being underestimated. Like I feel like Nathan does a good job of facading this like not super strategic person, kind of like someone who just like is there to play the game and enjoy it. Um, because I don't necessarily think it's underestimating, but I do think it's Nathan putting the work in to have people underestimate him. Um, but we have the last newbie for us, and this is V. V is very. I want actually they're not that new to the community anymore. They started in Bodo. That was their first face org, and they've been literally all over the map. I'm pretty sure they played Power Grab. They played the protagonist. They've played. They host their own game, Mythos. Um, they played Hypnotic with me and Timmy. They got second place. Sorry, V. But I mean,
I'm not sorry.
so here's how I feel about V. V is a really, and I love you, V. You'll see this later, and I hope you understand. V is a really smart player. V is good at comps. V could be the total package when it comes to orgs, but I think V talks is very social, and sometimes it can be too social. And I think it sometimes V just says things to say things, and then eventually they start saying the wrong things. And that's what I encountered a lot in Hypnotic, and Timmy could probably attest. Like it started
I
getting
have
to a
not.
point. It it started getting to the point where like the things they were saying wasn't lining up with any of the things they were saying prior. to their allies, to their enemies. So, I mean, I think for me personally, if V can work with the cards they have, I think they could do well. I see V being a merge boot, someone that, is someone who is in a really good position in the pre-merge because of the people who they're with, but gets sniped right at the merge because people recognize them as someone who can win individual immunities or will be a threat to their game.
I think this is the game where V gets sniped early. I think this is something where they've love V down. V has an ego. Um, Not in a bad way, but just definitely like when they feel like they're in control, they like to play a little differently. It's kind of like I could be wrong, Hypnotic kind of came out that way. Like they felt like they were in control, so they were able to be a little more not risk averse, more risk taking. But I feel like at the same time though, I feel like V in this type of, especially in this tribe, I worry about their position early on. Is if they can't find that majority alliance is going to. You know who it really reminds me of, honestly, Seb? Corey, season 8. I could see like being in that majority
I
and
can see it.
then not, and then being flipped on. Like I could definitely see that happening. I hope I'm wrong. Like I said, if I'm predicting someone to get a low placement, I hope I'm wrong. But if I had to bet money on it, I could definitely see them being one of the people that is pre everything because the tribes does not work for them. That's it.
I'll come back, by the way. I will do my spills once everybody talks about V.
So I'm going to start with what I said I had comments, because I know V, you're going to be watching this, and that is going to freak you out. Um, V and I have had this conversation before. V just needs to work on more humble language when they talk, and I think that will get them very far because V is very strategic, very smart. Sometimes V should probably write down all the lies they say, and that will help a lot because when you are that social, talk to everybody, it is easy to kind of start I'm making hand motions, my camera's off, to start basically rolling down a hill. And that could hurt V very fast, especially in Survivor where things do move a lot faster. And I felt like in Hypnotic, those faster rounds are where V started struggling a little more because things were brought to light because people were less afraid of saying stuff. So in Survivor, where the rounds just kind of keep moving, they might run into that risk, but it is also hard to compare someone's Big Brother gameplay to their Survivor gameplay necessarily. I have hopes, but unfortunately, I am gonna say 14th place.
I've only seen slash heard from Cody and Timmy of how V was playing, and then V's DRs. Um, I feel that his social can help, but it could also hinder, depending if I think talking, uh, if they talk too much, I think that's what's gonna hinder. Because in Big Brother, there's only depending on like who's HOH and their noms, versus in Survivor, everyone is vulnerable. I feel like if they're not careful with their words, it'll get them in hot water very quickly compared in Big Brother. So like if they learn that lesson from Big Brother, I feel like they could do really well. But if they haven't yet, I feel like they could go pretty early this game.
I only got to experience V through Timmy and through watching the game. V definitely strikes me as that person that is going to like not necessarily like a shit stir per se, but definitely someone that will speak their mind when they feel they need to ruffle a few feathers and isn't afraid to do so for the sake of shaking up the game. And it could potentially work in their favor and it might not. I think it just leads to Seb's comment about, they talk some and they have like sometimes valid points, but then it runs into the territory of maybe exposing too much information to where then they're in trouble. I think if that can be like dialed back just a bit, I feel like not only are we going to have a very entertaining character, but we have a very potent player. Like, how many comps did we win?
6, I think.
Hypnotic
I think it
six.
was 6.
That's dangerous in the merge, and I'm not sure how many people are actually privy to that information. Um, I don't know if that was their initial strategy to kind of like lay low for a bit, and then they eventually, I think, had to gun just because they were consistently on the block.
No, they
Um,
wanted to win a bunch of comps. That was their entire
oh,
plan.
okay,
Records.
fantastic. And then like utilizing that and um, mitigating their threat level early on, I think will also set them up very, very well to then just be like, okay, I'm gonna gun this shit out, and they very well can.
Hmm.
So I'm looking forward to see um, if they execute that, and then how they choose to improve their overall experience from orgs into this game.
Run through who else I miss for people who have gone through their parts already. I was out for a hot minute. Let's see.
You missed Laura and you missed Nathan.
Laura and Nathan. Okay. So Laura, I don't know. I only know Laura from being on Paradox Prod and watching Laura play in season 1 of Paradox. The only thing I can remember was that Laura was like, I don't know if like inactive is the word, but it was kind of like selective on who Laura spoke to. And I feel like in a way that could work because you're not breaking like technically any trust with anybody, but also that could also get her in trouble. But yeah, other than that, I don't like again don't know Laura way too well. But Laura's given really nice energy so far. The pickle juice. That reminds me, I need to go ask you. You're gonna see this, and you're gonna see literally 20, 30 days prior to this video, you watching this video, I'm gonna ask where you got that jug of pickle juice from. Um, yeah, but no, I see Laura, I don't Laura giving mid-merge for me. Just the vibe, mid-merge vibes. And then Nathan. I feel Nathan is pretty hit or miss. And I feel like either Nathan can be a little inactive and I've seen Nathan get booted early because of that, but I have like the collective, but I also have played a game with Nathan Spellbound where Nathan did pretty good. And so I could see a way for both. And according to Collective Prod, if Nathan would have showed up to that live night, Nathan would have had a deeper run into the game because there were other people protecting him. So yeah, Nathan is somebody who I also have good hopes for. He's giving early mid merge for me. But if he's not around at certain points, then I see him being a pre-jury poop. And then we're on V. So V, I have all of my knowledge of V from watching Seb play Hypnotic with V and working closely with V in the game. And V seemed like a little chaotic, and I did hear the little bit on what you guys were saying about V with this specific tribe not doing as well, and I definitely see the same thing. I feel like V has a tendency to get a little crazy, and I feel like especially with like a Kathy on this tribe who is a dominant player, I definitely feel that it's not going to end up very well. But kind of like what I said for Issa, I feel like um V East is gonna be a good person for V, and that could also do pretty well for them. So V, I'm gonna give V like later pre-jury.
All right. So we have gone through the 8 newbies. Now let's hit the 10 returnees. This should be a little more simple. For context, viewers and cast, the Dying Light tribe has been popping off all night. Y'all have been actually talking to each other. There is a newbie VC, but in regards, like they're popping off. You guys, the Dying Light tribe. So we have a little more context on the connections, the dynamics, and everything. So, well, I'm gonna go in season order. So we're gonna start with all the way in season 1, all the way back in May of 2022. We have X. Now, last time we saw X in Distortion, he is in fact the first ever Distortion survivor, first boot. He is the first of first. Literally voted out because of the music video and Tawny. And so we're here now, literally in the year 2026. X is here. I'm like super excited to see it. He said something is he was a little sick the past few days, so I was a little concerned. But he said something in his prod chat about how the org bug has bit him in the past few hours. And he is one of the more, he is really being active, which I am excited to see. I'm just trying to see if we're going to get Brian, if we're going to get X, because if we get Brian, I think he could do really well in this cast. If we see X, I really don't know what's going to happen. It's X. I really don't know. I think if we're seeing Brian, I do see him making merge. If we have X, I I don't know. I have hope for X. I don't think Billy does though, with the way he's shaking his head.
This guy's getting first boot. I love him to death, but this. I love him to death, but like, bro,
Not the Francesco of it all.
he's gonna try and run the tribe, and then he's gonna get voted out because all the social players hate it. He's gonna be like, if he's gonna be put on that newbie tribe. I know he's not gonna get first boot, but like he's gonna get first boot. Like they're gonna vote him out first. Like, I don't know. I I I I think pre-merge is where I would. I think pre-merge is where I'm at right now. I would be pleasantly shocked. I I would be very curious about how an X making the merge season would be. I'm not sure if it would be greatest for the ratings, but I would like be so fascinated to see how it developed. But the viewers, I think, want X to make it far. But I love X. X, like, this is not slander towards him. It's very much like I think he's going to be very disconnected from a lot of the people here. He might just try to overplay his hand seriously, but I hope he doesn't. That's all.
Even though I was in the same season as X, we were on different tribes, so I actually practically know nothing about them. But right now he's being very social, and that's exciting. We'll see how that goes. Night one social doesn't always translate to the whole game, but I want to have high hopes. Don't know why, but I'm still just gonna say I want to have high hopes, but I'm still saying 15th.
Um, I rem I know X. I can't remember if he was in the CTC. Was
Yeah, we
yeah,
played CTC with him. Yeah.
okay. Um, I do not remember much of that. Because there were merge boot, right?
He
So
got
X,
he also got
yeah,
he also got first boot in Honor versus Revenge in the same season that we played Minor.
he wasn't first boo in HVR, was he?
Huh?
He wasn't first boo in HVR, was he?
Yeah, I think he was.
Oh,
He was on
I wasn't
Grace's
on the
tribe.
scene.
So
All I
play
know, well, the weird thing about X in Lafotaine was that he was voted out and then came back. Then he was mid merge.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
like because I remember he pissed. I think he like literally pissed off like Farrell. I think.
Okay,
Great.
I
I mean,
remember
Grace
now.
would know more than the rest of us.
Oh, y'all go first because this one's gonna. I have a
No,
lot to say
I,
about
I
this
was
one.
asking a question,
Hey.
Grace. Didn't you guys vote out X first boot on HVR?
Oh, we did.
Okay, thank you. That's what I was making
I'll
sure.
get to that.
Okay. Um,
I have
yes,
nothing
okay.
else.
I remembering our OG season, I want them to do well. Um, it looks basing off of what I'm seeing right now, I think they're being social. So I feel like they'll be okay for the first boot. Um, I think it'll just be who they decide to trust. Um, on this returning tribe. I think it's we either decide if they're gonna make it further or if they're gonna be one of the early boots of this tribe if they lose. Um, I really hope they do well. I have no placement. I'm just hoping it's not first boot.
I also don't have too much to say. This will be the first time I've seen X in action. Um, however, I know some people are potentially thinking that he will get the Francesca edit. Um, I hope not. It would be nice to see X redeem himself. But I will say if he does try that run the tribe stuff, it will not end well. And then I have to go eat crow. I don't like crow. Uh, but no, I'm hopeful for him being able to turn the tide. Maybe I mean essentially all of our returnees got that chip on their shoulder, something to fight, or something to prove, a fire under their eyes, some sort of motivator to want to come back, aside from the fact that we are a fucking phenomenal game. So again, I hope they utilize that, learn from, the mistakes that they made. Um, I think he may also have a teeny difficulty in the sense that I don't think he's been as around the community as much, nor is he facing the same game that he did 12 seasons ago. The ante has definitely been upped in every way, shape, or form. So I will love to see what he does when these new challenges are thrown his way.
Everybody on this call should know. Well, probably not Timmy and Minor as much and Benji as much. The other two, y'all should know. I have a history with this man. Lord, I've known him. I've known X since 2018. And my first impression of him was him spending his time to try and take me out of a group game, which he failed at. And he became my org rival through a couple years. And then he finally left me alone and stopped trying to get me out anytime he saw me. And I bring that up even though it was so long ago because I still kind of see it. Well, that present day is kind of weird because the last org he did play was when he got first boot. And oh wait, no, I lied. No, it was CTC. Oh my god, I forgot about CTC for a second. It was literally just brought up too.
His
Yeah,
last
X.
X's
Go ahead.
last org was Surviving 1984.
Oh, I forgot about fucking surviving. Oh my god. But he made it. Okay, I will say he did make it to merge in that game. I will say that. But X, when I was talking about chaos and crazy, X is the literal dictionary definition of chaos and crazy. This man literally will lie. It will literally try and be shady. And the thing is that he makes it so obvious to where people catch him immediately. So if he does any of that and tries to stir up trouble, then I do not have high hopes for him. He's literally just going to turn around and get that first boot again. But I have seen a side of him where he is a little more mellowed out and a little quieter. And I do hope that if he wants, because he really wants to play this game and wants to go deep in here, he needs to do that and not do anything crazy. I will say, and in CTC, literally, because this was with CTC, he was on my tribe, and you know why we voted him out first? Because he made alliances with like every single person on the tribe, and then he would turn around and leak them to other people. And everybody, and he would lie about things too as well, and everybody caught wind of that immediately. And I just remember we lost our first challenge. We lost. It was like me, Nick, Zach, and I think Casey was on there. We all were like, okay, so we're voting X out, right? All of it, everybody on the call, literally all went in agreement with that because he was being so shady and just being an absolute mess. And then even to the point where production, their little superlative for him at the end of the game was, or worst move of the season was anything X did. So if he plays like that, yeah, he's gone very quickly. But if he's a little more mellow, early merge or late pre-jury.
I'm muted. Okay. So after X from season 1, we have no one from season 2 or 3, but we hop right into season 5. And I think honestly, with these two people we're going to talk about next, I do think that makes Heatwave the most returned season. I would have to do the math on that, but we're going to talk about our 16th placer from Heatwave. He was on the most dominant tribe in Distortion history. 3 of them made it to the final 3. One of the fourth of them got to the merge, and then 2 of them got pre-jury. One of them came back already and did super well, and then we're left here. Now, this whole tribe has, well, Jen has not played and LJ has not played, but we're here to welcome Aaron. Aaron's only org experience is Distortion. He's only played Distortion Heatwave. He was 16th place. He was able to build a strong bond with the core to survive the first vote, but Jen built a stronger bond with them and was able to take that 4th spot. And he unfortunately was voted out because of it. In the small time we saw Aaron, he went from being a little inactive and being voted out in the first twist of the season to being part of them choosing the twist. And then when Aaron came back, he was super bold. He pushed hard for Mike to go the round that Mike Jones left, and then he pushed really hard the round he left for what he wanted. If he brings that energy, but like dialed down, I think he can do well on this tribe. I only worry about like Aaron in the org aspect of it all. Like I said, the only org experience he has is Distortion from 2 or 3 years ago. So it's like 2 years now, I think, Heatwave. And I don't know how much he's been paying attention. I don't know how much he's been learning. I don't know what he's been doing in that time. I am very excited to get him back because he is someone that I'm excited to get that second chance. I really can't predict it. Aaron is someone I think could go early on this tribe if he can't make the connections quickly.
Yeah, I can see that. I think I think he could be an easily agreed upon name, but I think it'll be like if I only think that'll happen if the returnees keep losing, like they lose and lose and lose. Because like I think there's a couple people in front of them who will probably get looked at first in my eyes, but I don't think he'll be in a position where it's like he might not be in a superpower position, but I think he'll be. It's more of like I think he'll be that person that like when the John, Noah, and Fred core break up, he'll be someone that they need to rely on for a number. And I think that could be like a huge benefit, especially in like the mid game. But I'm very curious to see how that goes. I would say like right around early jury, probably kind of like one of those Yunnan early jury, kind of like doesn't fit into the end game plans of anybody, and they're willing to let it go.
I have no thoughts, head empty. I know nothing about Aaron. Good luck. And Minor is walking back into the room. Do you have thoughts about Aaron?
Um, I hope they do well. I never met them in my season. Um, but yeah, I I just hope they do well, yeah.
I too do not know this man. However, shout out season 5, Heatwave. Um, from learning this information from season 5, yes, I do hope he does well. Since I personally have not seen his game, this will be a learning experience for me. I kind of like observing the games that I've never seen before or don't know. They stick out to me a little bit more because I don't know anything. It's a learning opportunity to get to see what this person is like under these this particular experience and circumstances. So again, yeah, don't have too much to say. But as a season fiver, a heat waver, I do hope for nothing but the best for them.
Okay. So Aaron, I definitely am sensing we are going to. I did see Aaron is a little inactive back in season 5, but it wasn't to the point. But he was able to maintain those bonds with the core. Unlike because they kicked Mike out first, and then they kicked him after. But so he had that going for him. But I just based on what I've been seeing from one-on-ones and what I'm currently seeing with the Tribe VC, I feel we're going to get more social activity from him. And especially with this intro video, because he also said he finished school. I think he finished school in between back when he played to now in getting his degree in psychology. And I've noticed that a good amount of people who study that, they know how to social that game. But I could also see a situation, especially with people not knowing who he is at all. I feel like that could just be a definition for an easy out waiting to happen. And I hope that doesn't happen to him because, like I said, I'm actually seeing more potential in him this season than I was in season 5, based on what I'm seeing. And I feel if he keeps it up, then I definitely have Timmy. I definitely have they can be good at strategy too. I feel psychology people who study psych are also good at strategy because they're good at reading people. Um, but I definitely Aaron, I don't know, like I feel like he's gonna do well. I'm gonna give him like I'm gonna be chill with him. I'm gonna give him like later merge. I feel like if he makes it past the first few rounds of this game, I see a long run for him.
After Aaron, we have.
Deb,
We
you're not.
cannot hear you at all.
I know,
And
I
your mic, oh, your
know.
mic is up.
Yeah, give me a sec. Can you hear me better?
Mm-hmm.
Shocking.
Yep.
I need a new mic. I need a new computer. That's what we've learned from this cast assessment. So our next person, also from season 5, the man who literally almost made the merge doing nothing. The man that the core almost idled so they could get Minor out at 12th place. We have Fred, who I think quite literally deserves this opportunity. Fred, from the time of Heat Wave to now, has played multiple games on, well, at the time Skype and then Discord. I think Fred has really redefined or really refined his game through Discord. I think specifically the collective, and I think about the time he was in Paradox. Like he is a good player. Fred is amazing. Uh, do I think Fred probably is the biggest? How do I word this? I think Fred is seen already. I think people like if you see Fred around, Fred is good at these games. I don't think that'll be a reason to target him, but Fred is good at the comps. He's good at the social. He's good at the strategic. I would put Fred as a winner pick if I didn't think that he would be someone that they snipe on this returnee tribe right off the bat. I think he will make a deep run if he could survive up until the swap. But at the moment, I don't. I think that he obviously has Noah and John there to start, but I don't know. I think this game could go many directions for Fred, but I do think that he gets sniped no matter where he is.
I think some people may have some bitterness towards Fred and collective that may be existed in here because both of these players were taken out by Fred by kind of me by proxy. But at the same time, it's very much like I think Fred has a lot of work to do. But that being said, this season, for this was made for someone like Fred who did not get to fully do what they wanted to do in the first like game around, and like this is like the perfect opportunity in my eyes. I think he could. I think he'll go on a redemption run. I think. I'm very curious to see how he does. Um, he is one of my better friends in the org community, so like obviously I'm not gonna like I'm gonna just say what I think. I don't. I could definitely see him pre-merging. Honestly, I hate to say it. I think this group of people is not great for him, but I think if he can get a decent swap, I think he can get into a position like I think the way he succeeds is by getting in with the newbies. That's the way I look at it. That's my theory. Like if he can link up with someone like a like honestly, a really dangerous dynamic in this game would be like Fred and V
That's
linking
what I
up,
was thinking.
and I could absolutely see that being something that's like really interesting for the long term. Uh I would hope that Fred would link up with some women, but track record doesn't help with that. So
That's
but
crazy.
yeah, I think Fred will. I think my official prediction for Fred is second place. I think he will be the fine. I think he will get 0 votes to win, sitting
So
next
with
to probably his
the,
closest ally that he probably should have cut.
I can see it.
I think Fred is sometimes his own worst enemy, and that usually depends on activity level, which as of late has not always been great. But also, Fred is very aware of that and has even mentioned that and is doing everything in his power to not have that happen again. So I still, unfortunately, like, because Billy, you're right. This theme is made for Fred. It really is. And I at first had two placements in mind, one of them being second. But the one I'm gonna go with, which I don't know why I think it, but I'm going with 16th. And
Wow.
I have no idea why, but that's just like, and I would love Fred to prove me wrong because I think he deserves it. He's a great player, but I also think he deserves it and he's a great player. And others will realize that.
I was able to talk more with Fred this like past season of Collective. And I was able to see how like strategic, social, and uh good at comms they were. Um, I feel like with Noah, if Fred doesn't spend their time trying to be good with Noah and John and puts more emphasis of trying to get with like Giraffes, Cody, like the other people, I feel like he could survive this tribe. But if he spends more time trying to mend with John and Noah, I feel like that's what's gonna hurt him in this like tribe if it doesn't get swapped. Um, because I feel like if he makes that better connections, he could make it deep and could integrate with the newbies if he reaches that point. I think that's where like the key for post merge success is making it to a swap, getting in with the newbies, um, and then just getting a solid group to go. Because I could see him being low, people seeing it like threat if they don't know his game well, as having him low as threat level, which is very dangerous. Um, since he wouldn't be targeted early merge or mid merge. So he could have a deep run. It just depends on what he decides to do with his connections in this early section of this tribe.
Um, I too have gotten to see a lot of Fred's games recently. Um, Fred played Deception Season 2. Um, I've also seen Seb, or, yeah, no, I've seen Fred play with Seb in Season 5 and do really well. I've seen him in Deception where he won comps and then the following round, chop, chop, slay, chop, chop, chop. Um, so I've seen both ends of the spectrum with Fred. I know how competitive he is, how hungry he gets, even during the competitions of it all. He will do nothing less than his best, and that's something I truly appreciate about Fred. Um, I do agree with Timmy on the fact that like either he will be looked at as like a early to get out comp threat because people aren't underestimating his potential, or he actualizes on that potential and gets really fucking far. So yeah, time will tell. I'm excited.
Before I get into Fred, just to update, we have our first alliance already that got requested. Does anybody want to make their chat and everything, or somebody doing it?
Already done.
Okay, beautiful. All right, Fred. So I've seen two versions of Fred when in these games. I've seen Fred who from Collective and Paradox, who is well, Paradox maybe not as like a round, but who comes in and plays super hard and makes it and can make a very deep run into the game he plays. I definitely feel like if and I have an idea that that's how he's gonna play here, because he is pretty, based on the messages, he is pretty around. Um he is pretty around. So far, so I definitely have high hopes in regards to that. And then the other version of Fred is when he's completely inactive and he gets booted like pre-jury. I definitely see he's going to have some kind of redemption for himself when he plays. No matter his placement, I think he's gonna actually be able to have the play. He wants to come in and play, and I definitely feel he's going to have that opportunity, no matter if he's out early or he gets out later. So I definitely see that redemption for him. And I could see a situation where the collective could come back to haunt him. But I feel like, well, him and Noah jumped on call, and I feel that's definitely a good starting point. And I feel like if he gets on a call with John and they kind of hash it out there, I definitely think that Fred, I could see a long time for Fred in this game. And as long as he keeps up with the as long as he keeps up with everybody else on his tribe, I definitely see him making it to merge. So as long as he doesn't go on a period of inactivity, I can see Fred. I'm gonna say like fourth or fifth place for him. Another thing too, he is notable whenever I have been with him in person when he's yelled at somebody. So if he gets taken out or somebody targets him, be ready for some entertainment coming out of him.
Yeah, I will say Fred and Noah were the first VC. Fred has already been on more one-on-one calls in the past hour than he has been in the entirety of season 5. So I guess that's a plus. Let's see. Next up, we have from season 8, Thrilltopia, we have Jaywan or Jay. I'm excited to see Jay play again. I mean, Jay even admitted it in his prod chat this season. Like he really tried to work with people he knew prior to Thrilltopia, and that bit him in the ass. And so he's coming in this season with a little more of chip on his shoulder. He's been playing a little longer. I'm pretty sure when he played Thrilltopia, he only played Kaleidoscope, and that was it. But now he's played a couple more games. I think most recently he's played Bodo. I'm excited to see Jay play. Jay is someone who he's a little snake. He's a little sneaky. He's a little slippery. But I think Jay knows that. And I'm excited to see Jay bring that energy to this cast. I don't know if this tribe is particularly the best for him, but he already has like a not a I don't think it was a final 2, but he had something. He was talking to X about something, which was my nightmare fuel that when we came into the season. Um, but I'm excited. I'm excited to see Jay. I really don't know how he's gonna do. I think Jay really has his own fate in his hands because I've seen Jay go far. I've seen Jay go not far. So I really think it depends on what Jay wants to do, and because Jay is, from what I've seen, very good at like controlling his own narrative in games. If he wants to, if he's gonna like when he tends to try to work with people he knows, he ends up going earlier. When he tends to work with people he doesn't, he tends to go far. So it really is up to him on this point.
I'm gonna start cutting my people down a little bit as it's getting late. I will say I think Jay will be one of those people that could make a deep run. They could not make a deep run. Really depends on how committed they are to this game specifically. But I do hope for a lot of good commitment from Jay. I think he's very good at challenges when need be. Very smart, very strategic player.
I played in Jay's first game, so I played in Kaleidoscope with Jay, which was a long time ago, but Seb, you're right, very sneaky at that time, but Jay's definitely progressed a lot. As far as orgs go, I've only hosted him once before, and that was in Wheel at where he was technically first boot, second out, but someone walked and then it was a whole thing. But so and that was still early on in his org career. I actually, as of right now, I have high hopes and high expectations for Jay because I think the further he gets on in his org career, the better he does. Obviously, it's not always an uphill trajectory, but he learns more each time.
Um, yeah, don't really have too much. Um, I think I Yeah, I was been Bodo with them, but I can't really say much with that one with social because depending on like the player you are, you don't really talk much. Um, so I hope they do well. Um, I haven't really seen them really play too much. Yeah, not much thoughts here for Jay.
Muted. I have seen Jay play in two instances. If I remember correctly, he was runner-up of season 4 of Hypnotic against Danny. Um, from what I remember hearing, Jay had a pretty strong game, and they just wasn't able to elaborate why they should win in the end. Um, so again, along with like the Freds and everybody that I've been mentioning along the spectrum, I've seen two varying sides um, to Jaewon's game. I think as long as they keep as cool, calm, and collected as I've seen them with their hypnotic game, where they were in control, they were winning comps, they didn't really have to worry about much. Um, and adapting that to a survivor style of play, Jay really has a great capacity to show up and show out. Um, um, yeah. Um,
Okay, so Jay, so kind of like this was touched on. I've seen Jay get out early, and I've also seen Jay do pretty decently well. So it does depend on the cast. I definitely feel this tribe. Literally, what Seb was saying, nightmare fuel. I remember before going into this, I said one of the things I am most excited to see is X and J interact with each other, and the fact that they linked up so quickly together is going to be a mess that I am so excited to watch happen. And I feel like especially if X is X and then J is kind of like feeding into that, I feel like J is going to be in trouble with these people. Um I'm giving I feel like what's gonna happen. I'm getting pre-jury, but I feel like they're gonna shoot at X first, and then they're gonna go after J, and J's not gonna be able to recover from it. So that's where I'm placing Jay right now. Love you, Jay, but who knows? Jay could impress and make it to the merge phase.
All right. Next up, we have the next six people are our new era, quote unquote. So this is everything after All Stars. We have two from Pure Imagination, two from Trials of Raw, two from Etheria. So next up, we have our second first boot on the cast. From all the way 18th place of Pure Imagination, we have Giraffes. Now Giraffes, again, they were an early boot. They pretty much got voted out because they went after Sam, who was in an alliance with, or at least in a group with Denson and Sabrina at the time. And they kind of took the majority of that tribe and they took out Giraffes because of it. Um, Giraffes was definitely not the most inactive person. In fact, they were one of the more active people in season 10 that round. Giraffes being first boot still kind of shocks me to this day, because I think that there was someone who should have been first boot and they weren't. Um, but we're here now. I'm excited to see Giraffes because they said this a number of times in their pro chat. They've been doing pretty well in the past few games they played. So I'm hoping they can bring that in here. I think Giraffes will be either like fourth place or like early pre-jury or pre-merge. Like I don't see a middle. I could be wrong, but that's just kind of what the vibe I'm getting here. Drafts is one of the more active people. They are still on the VC for their tribe. But there's already messages to a number of players saying that giraffes can't be trusted. So I'm interested to see how that will affect this round or future rounds, but we shall see.
Um, I'm hoping for well. Not sure, honestly. I'm very if the messages I haven't got a chance to read any of the tribe chats or anything, so I don't know what the communication's looking like. But if that's the case, I'm very worried about a quick in, quick out.
I'm also worried about a quick in, quick out, although I think drafts might end up being just the vote for this and then have the safety. So I think that will help them. I hope. Because honestly, drafts is good TV and active. And as far as I'm aware, just by their personality, I don't think they're difficult to host. So I would like to see drafts go pretty far. Do I think it's going to happen? No. So I'm going to say 13th.
Uh, Giraffes is very smart and very social. And if you get on calls with them, they are way better than in messages. Um, I feel like they could get out of this thing with Noah, only because I think with the two other first boots, I think they might like at least have like a deal of not wanting them to be first boot again. Um, and Drafts has thrown out the potentially of this vote being a bluff and going to the other tribe. So if that goes around more, I wonder if people would decide to bring strategy into the voting. But I feel like if Giraffe makes great connections and calls people, I think they could get out of this problem that Noah is causing them.
Ooh, look, I'm on a computer. Um, I am also not hoping for the Francesca of it all. Um, it is a little bit concerning that people are saying, who in specific are we seeing saying that drafts can't be trusted?
Noah, and we'll talk about Zach later, but
Okay.
Noah made a comment to Cody or Fred, I can't remember, basically saying,
Both.
we could talk later. Was it both?
It was definitely it was Cody in the chat, but then Noah and Fred had a BC, and I can only imagine who was said there.
Basically, Noah said giraffes and Zach cannot be trusted. Again, I don't get the context. I don't
Yeah.
think that Noah was even on the VC with the tribe. So again, I don't know the context. We were doing the cast assessment when all these were
Real.
posted, but I don't know. I think that we keep talking about this group, which we'll specify later more with
Yeah.
potentially Noah, John, Fred. That could either be a bomb ready to blow up or a group that will keep them safe early on. And I don't. We really don't know. These are all night zero words being said. So, but I'm intrigued.
As am I, especially with not a lot of context, since we didn't get to sit in and be very like gossip girl. Um, I would also like to just entertain the fact like, hey, at least it's being said not night zero compared to like a day 3 or a day 4 where they still have some time to make traction. Um, they do have a bit of an unfortunate moment um of having the danger of going first, as they will later find out is not true. Um, for whoever goes on that returnee tribe. Um, and who knows, maybe if not wishing this upon them, if they do, maybe um, they could kind of utilize that and turn their game around into the game that they wanted to play. I know how excited they are, especially with the way that they've been talking preseason going into it. So I know they're wanting to make the most out of the second chance that they have been giving. So I'm here for hopefully not seeing a Giraffe's first boot, not being a Francescois of the season. Um, and, just proving that they have what it takes. They're not their original placement.
Okay, giraffes. I I have hope for giraffes because I've seen giraffes do pretty decently well in other works. And I definitely think if giraffes could get past like the whole situation of don't trust them, I feel like we could see giraffes around for a little bit, but also I do see them, especially if what they're especially with Noah saying don't trust them. I definitely feel drafts could be somebody they take out now and it's gonna be going to the newbies tribe. That's my prediction. It's gonna be drafts going over there. And I wonder how that dynamic if drafts does go over there, how that dynamic, especially with Nathan there, is gonna go. Since they were on opposite opposing sides during Spellbound. So it'll be pretty interesting. I definitely think I'm getting late. It's either gonna be late pre-jury for me or like later in the merge. I don't think it's gonna be an early phase in either. It's gonna be later in one of them. But yeah, I hope Giraffes does well because as somebody who understands first boot pretty good nowadays, and especially getting it twice in a row, it's literally the suckiest feeling in the world. And I don't want any of the people who got first boot in their season, I don't want them out first because it's literally the worst feeling ever. Okay, I'm done.
All right, next up is the person I think that and we talked about Fred being like a person we thought of heavily for this season. I think this person as well is someone who really did need this redemption. So we have Cody who got 12th place in Pure Imagination, only person on the returnees to have made the merge at all. Everyone else got voted out pre-merge. Cody had made the merge. He made it to the live night at Final 12. But the twist of season 12 was no revotes. So they had a really chaotic vote. It was like, what did I say?
12.
Season 10. I'm sorry.
It's fine. He
But
said season 12 in his intro video.
I think that's why I'm like blanking. Um, but basically very chaotic first merge tribal. It was a live night already. They did circle the round literally minutes before the vote. It was a very chaotic vote, lots of idle plays. They went to rocks and Cody got rocked out. He's the only second person in Distortion to ever be rocked out. I'm very excited for Cody. I mean, literally made it as far as he could. They had such a strong run in season 10 up until the rocks. And it wasn't really like we'll talk about Noah later with rocks, but this was not really like a I'm being loyal because again there was no revotes in season 10, so they went straight to rocks. I think that Cody could hopefully do well. Cody honestly is like someone I could see winning this game if they really position themselves well in this tribe. I mean, the amount of the positions I thought they were going to go home in season 10 and then they didn't to get us here is kind of interesting. And I think they are someone who could win this game.
Is it time to say hello to my winner? I he was running shit before, like like all that. I'm hoping, honestly. I think Cody would be a really interesting winner. I do think like Cody and Fred could also do some real damage together if they could link up together. But we'll see what happens. That's my prediction. I'll make a winner pick for it.
Um, I don't know, Cody. Good luck.
Yeah, I also don't know Cody, but just looking at the game so far, I feel like they might be in a power position on this tribe, just with how social they are. Um, and depending on like who they want to work with, could weaponize like Noah's words of already throwing pe two people under the bus. So depending on which way Cody feels, it might lead this early tribe before swap. Um, yeah, so just depending on like their strategy, um, how they go with their social, I feel like they could do pretty well. I think they could make it at least the final five.
I agree. I feel that, wow, words. Okay. Um, I know when Cody was voted out, I think at the time he was a projected front runner, so we all went, damn, like holy shit. Um, again, yeah, someone that was running shit, very powerful. Had this twist not happened, pretty sure would have changed the entirety of the game and how it progressed from there on forward. Um, so very excited to see their gameplay. We've already seen that they are very well capable of going very far in this game, so we'll see if lightning strikes twice. But hopefully not with a rock out. Um,
Like Cody, I definitely feel Cody is going to do better than season 10 for sure. Cause I feel like if that rock draw did not happen, I definitely think Cody would have had a deep run in season 10, especially with how much Cody was controlling things, and especially with the strawberry people, like with the Leah, Juan, and Mira. I definitely think that those there is gonna be a lot of damage coming out of those four, and he would have been involved in that. So, and I can see the same situation here. I can already tell right away just based on conversations. I think him and Kim are going to hit it off very well with each other. I can tell they vibe with each other immediately, and I see that as a potential a real I see that as a potential strong duo that's getting ready to happen here. And I could see him like him and Fred, I could see him also working closely with. I could see Noah as well coming out of this tribe. But I definitely, like I said, the first impressions I'm getting, I think him and Kim are really gonna like I think they're gonna be a tight one to watch to look out for.
All right, we move on to season 11. We get to our third and final first boot of this season. We have Zach. Now, Zach is someone that, besides Distortion, I don't really know too well. I think that Zach, honestly, um, with the tribe, looking at season 11 and looking how the rest of that tribe did, besides Cat, I think everyone got pre-merge and early merge. The tribe was not strong. The tribe was what modern Survivor fans would say the disaster tribe. But Zach made the fatal mistake of going after Karen, who at that point had already like secured her spot on that tribe, like socially. Um, so I don't know how Zach's gonna do. I mean, like we mentioned before, Noah making the comments about Giraffes and Zach not being able to be trusted. It does worry me a little. I do see Zach going a little early, unfortunately. I would love for Zach to prove me wrong because I do think that the small gameplay we did see of them in season 11 was promising, but I just think that like right off the bat, it seems that there is some bad energy either from them or other people just putting it on them. And I don't know how they're going to be able to get out of it. They could, I don't know, but that's just what I'm seeing right now.
Yeah, I hope Zach does well. I just know sometimes like his social game isn't the greatest with some people, so I'm hoping he can prove it wrong this time. That's kind of the way I'm looking at it. Being first boot, kind of with all of first boots, there's no real expectation at this point. You just have to make it through one round. We'll see what happens.
I think with Zach, looking right now at specific conversations, gonna go back to conversations about Noah's having the spreading people. It seems like Giraffes is now not on the hook anymore and it's more towards Zach. So there I have concern there. Um, but that could also be a saving grace at that point because it means that they won't be first boot, which would be exciting. I don't know much of Zach's history at all, so I don't want to see a first boot get first boot again. That's really it.
Yeah, I also don't know Zach, but based on the little bit, might have a target for this first round. Um, Hopefully, if they are, that they're able to like work with the newbies. Um, Hopefully stuff changes because I also wouldn't want to see a first boot get first boot again. Um, so wishing him luck. Them.
Benji.
Benji, Grace.
Say, oh, Benji can go first before me. Oh, Benji's-
Might not happen.
Okay, I'll go real quick. So Zach, I'm gonna voice this like I did with Giraffes, and I didn't say it when we were on X, well, because I had a ton about to say a ton on him, but I really hope that Zach also does not get out first, because again, it is to have it happen to you twice in a row is literally the worst feeling ever. I don't ever wish that upon anybody now, but it's a crazy feeling, and I have a lot of fear, not gonna lie, especially since now Noah decided to do his trust rankings, like initial trusts, and Zach is at the bottom of that list already. And I kind of see the other people on this tribe, they're going to kind of carry on with that narrative. So, along with Giraffes, I also see Zach being a potential person who's they're going to try and vote here. And then Zach is going to end up on the other tribe. But also, especially since somebody on this tribe, Giraffes did figure out what was gonna happen potentially to that person. I could see them trying to send like somebody else over and then they'll get Zach out if they keep Zach around and then try and get Zach out eventually. But I really want Zach to do well. I want to see what they are I want to see what they're capable of. I want to see what they bring. But right now it's not looking very hot at the current moment. So I'm gonna give like it's gonna be early pre-jury. I really hope not for their sake to not have to experience getting out, getting first boot again, but I don't know.
Benji.
Check pro chat real quick.
Got it. That's all your message.
Thank you. Okay. Um, yeah, for the sake of the first boots, not first booting, I believe, I mean, specifically, this is a chance for them to redeem themselves. Hopefully, none of our first boots get the Tropiana. Um, I don't remember too much about Zach's game. I think he was first boot of 11, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, and then yes. I mean that also leaves opportunity open wide to be able to at least show me from a viewing production perspective what they are capable of. So I mean, as much as they were first boot, this is more of an opportunity than it is I guess, a hindrance to your game, and this goes for all of the first boots, especially depending on what you make of said opportunity. So I'm intrigued. I'm definitely intrigued to see what they do to capitalize on their game.
All right. Next up, we have is also from season 11. We have Kim. Now, Kim is someone who honestly kind of has like the same like starting point to her downfall, which was targeting Karen in a tribe where she already had great social control in. Um, But the difference is that Kim got a second life in the form of Patrice's disadvantage because Kim was gone that tribal, but because of the disadvantage that Patrice played, which gave her safety and left him without a vote, she was able to survive that round. She did go the next round, I'm pretty sure, but she was able to get through that one round. For me, I think Kim can has proven in other orgs to be a really strong player. I think that she's already doing really well with the social bonds with the people I didn't think that she would bond with, like Jay, Noah. There are a couple other ones, but I
Cody.
think I Cody, I see Kim making merge. How far she makes it, I don't know. I see Kim getting like second. Like I think that Kim has the capability to get there. It's just a matter of if Kim can recognize the more powerful players. Because I think about specifically with Kim playing with Jay, who like Jay Comas is such a great player. And her, because Kim is a very loyal player, being loyal to the wrong person and the person being loyal to the person who's going to beat her at the end.
Kim's very loyal to people. If she can find the guy to roll out with, she's very loyal. Um, with it being Cody, I think that'd be pretty cool. I could see, I could see get, like Fred cutting Kim to take Cody to the end and breaking up their. I'm kind of just rambling at this point. I'm literally I've been up since for almost like 21 hours now. I'm fucking tired. Um, I think Kim can make it pretty far. I think Kim's gonna be one of those players who either makes it really far or she gets cut really early. We'll see.
Sorry, I was on mute. Um, I don't really know Kim that well, but she has said that she thinks John's going to be Hercules' heel. So that is just something I want to make note of. Um, don't know what note, but a note. And that's really all I got is that okay, that she has some connections already, so that could help, but she's also being very social from what I can see, which is great.
Yeah, my it's based off like what I'm seeing so far. Kim has been talking. Cody and Noah says that they want a three with Kim. Um, so that could be a trio. But Cody did say that Kim has been mentioned as not around, but
It's been 2 hours.
yeah, it's not. But I feel like Kim will be okay. I feel like I could see her making them making Ali swap and then maybe into the merge if nothing negative happens in the swap.
Um, yes. I do remember Seb saying that Kim did get some lifelines there. Who knows if she'll this time she will procreate her either own luck with the potential idol board, which is going to be a doozy. Um, hmm, let's see. And then just remind me what place she got short, because I think, as you mentioned, she went shortly after Patrice.
She got 13th because no, she left before Patrice.
Uh-oh. Okay.
So Patrice plays well, Patrice had no choice, but Patrice
Right.
gives safety to gives safety to Kim, and then they survive that tribal. Dex gets voted out. And because, as I mentioned, they were on the disaster tribe. Well, I mentioned this with Zach, but honestly, any tribe that Karen was on in season 11 was the disaster tribe. Love you, Karen. Um, because of that, um, they went to tribal a lot. And so basically, Dex gets voted out, and then they go to tribal right after that. And that's when Kim gets voted out, and then they go to tribal right after that. And that's when Patrice gets voted out.
Yeah, okay. I feel like people may not suspect her. Either though I think loyalty is a fantastic thing, especially if she has if I see the ability of her being able to be liked by all. No one's ever gonna suspect Kim. Oh, Kim would never cut me. And then plot twist, she's cutting all these people, but they would never think it was her because she's loyal to the soil. That's something I would at least like to see from her game. Loyalty to a fault. Because I think her being able to create those relationships, maybe be a little under the radar, it depends. Um, and then heading into the merge with the same mentality, figuring out what her numbers are, and then kind of laying low unless it's absolutely necessary, kind of being a sleeper, if you will. Um, I think she could do some potent damage in the game if she plays her cards right. If she even decides to go with the strategy, we'll see. But I think she has the potential to run that way to the end based on this prior knowledge.
Okay, Kim, I think Kim is gonna do better just because I am seeing I what I see I'm hollering, but what's up, Justin? But I just based on what I'm seeing, especially out of Cody and Noah's chat. And I'm like I said, I'm sensing good energy with especially her conversations with Cody so far. It seems like the three of them, I could see them becoming a trio. And I see Kim being involved with that. And if that happens, I definitely think that's going to be pretty good for her game. And I also feel she is good enough socially, and see her connecting with the other people on her tribe. So I definitely have higher hopes for her this time around. And I could just I don't see her getting completely screwed over, but she anything could happen. But I think my prediction for her is that I think she's gonna be a kind of like it's gonna be ranging in between like mid merge into like third place. Wait, not third place because but fourth.
All right. So we are finally here at the last two players, both from Etheria, our most recent season. Honestly, two of the more screwed over players on this tribe from their original season. So we will start with our. Oh my god, I wrote down placements. Fun fact: I was not even around for this boot. Where is it? Our 14th placer of season 12, we have Noah. Now, Noah was on a tribe first two, they were considered the disaster tribe of season 12. And they voted out two pretty easy boots in the first two rounds and then decided to go to Rocks the third. But Noah went to Rocks for Shanice, and Noah unfortunately was rocked out, our second rock recipient on this season. I'm like, I really don't know how to feel about Noah. I feel like Noah, with some of the people on this tribe, is going to do fantastic. And I think that there are some people that I think Noah's already making a target for them. Now, whether that Noah will be the one to continue to keep that target moving as they go to tribal well, quote unquote tribal council this round, um, it fares to be seen. I don't think Noah is long for this world, and I love you, Noah. That might change. I really hope that you do make it far, but I just think that like Noah is going to be someone that this tribe or for a swap they want to snipe. Just because I feel like Noah will end up in a power position, and I think people will be threatened by that.
Noah's gonna beg for third chance the way he's about to get fucked this season. And that's all I'm gonna leave it at because he's gonna put himself in such a good position on this first tribe, swap him to a minority situation, and then they can't get out of it. That's the way I see this going.
I think even just piggybacking off of that, once Noah gets into that minority position, because it's going to happen, Noah's going to not have accurate perceptions of their game and think they're in a much better spot than they actually are. And that's going to, is what I think is going to fuck them over completely.
I love Noah. But I could see his downfall being himself. Because throwing out two names already to the wrong person could have put a target, but he said it to Cody, which they're vibing, so that's good. But I could see him saying the wrong thing to someone and then spreading. Um, and then I, th- I, s- I think he'll be good here. I don't think he would go early, but a swap, depending on who he gets swapped with, I think will be his downfall. And if when he's cornered, he feels I I don't feel he thinks clearly. I feel like he might get in trouble even more and dig a hole bigger. Um, I I want to say I could see him being merge boot.
No, no, no. Yes, definitely one of the more fucked over people from this last season. Glad they're back. Glad to see them here. Um, I don't think there's too much extra that I can say. I do kind of agree with the gambit here. This game is his to lose. He could set himself up very, very well, and then the moment either too much information gets out or it's like capitalized on with the wrong people, or even the situation of again that minority position, if people are sussing Noah out that quickly, they will get rid of him. Um but with that being said, um well, we don't really know. With the twist, that may change a lot of the perspective that they'll be able to be given during those tribals, especially if he's safe, or especially if the numbers then shift right before the votes are being cast. Like that really could, it is a game time decision on what will actually happen. And I'm excited. I'm gonna be sitting in my seat because we could be watching, considering that, oh, we may know what's going on, or we're hearing what's being given out, but we won't know what actually happens until that twist settles, and then you're like, oh, okay. We also don't know if people will decide to utilize this to benefit their own game because other people are out of the equation. When though this twist is going to utilize those moments of like, okay, what's good for the overall, and when is it the best time to start thinking of myself now that this part of the equation has been added in. Um, because standard tribal, we're like, okay, normally unless things start flipping, then as prod, we kind of get to see the writing on the wall. With this, I think adaptability is going to be key more than ever. It could lead to a lot of safety, like a lot of like quick time plays for other people. It could lead a lot of very shifty decisions that, may upset people, may not. It um definitely provides a lot of unpredictability, and I think that may benefit Noah in this sense, especially if they see the potentially get into the situation, because then, it's like, hey, it leans to the side of like, okay, do you play safe or do you play risky? And I don't see Noah sitting back idly by if it's going to, one, benefit him, and two, it if it's going to lead to some chaotic ass gameplay, which I'm ready. I want to see.
Y'all don't have high hopes for Noah. This is my winner pick. I feel like Noah, I definitely feel in 12, I definitely think Noah is a person who, not divorced, you're crazy for that. Oh my God. Um, I definitely think if Noah survived that rock draw, I definitely saw Noah having a long way last season. And I feel like right now, I definitely think Noah is going to be the more connected person. Um, oh my God, y'all were making fun of me for this. I cannot. But I feel he's one of the more connected people, or is going to be one of the more connected people with this starting tribe, especially since already creating a good relationship with Cody and Kim. And then you have him and Fred calling with each other. And I feel like, especially from the collective, maybe I don't know how him and John ended out on that. I definitely see him making, like, especially getting through this first part of the game. I don't know, I'm just sensitive. Y'all were like, oh my God. But
I just don't see there's a way in this cast that Noah's gonna be able to win a jury vote. Like truthfully, I just think whoever the people that he's gonna have to work with are going to be better in terms of navigating the cuts that Noah's gonna have to do. Like I feel like
I
Noah,
mean,
if Noah's gonna make it to the end, he's gonna have to be they're gonna have to be this kingpin, and I don't think it's gonna be something that the jury may respect. If that makes sense.
on paper,
I can see.
maybe.
Oh, definitely on paper. I'm only speculating on paper. We don't know anything. All of this is based off of what paper says. They could be once we get like 3 weeks into the game, we could be sitting there with people that we thought were getting first boot. Like it's
Mhm. No, exactly. And I guess, well, I'll let Grace finish before I get to my point.
But I could definitely I could and I also think, like, between like different people that Noah could work with, I feel like they would be taken out first over Noah. So that is why I'm saying what I'm saying. And yeah.
And I mean, I guess to capitalize on the whole hook twist of it all, in the same way that I advocated it for Noah is the same way that, people could also equally do some crazy fuck shit. And then, by perception, some things may not look too bad or some things may look better, depending on what people want to capitalize on. So, yeah.
Well, let's capitalize on that last player because we've been doing this for like 2.5 hours. We are going to talk about, first of all, I want to thank this person. They literally messaged us like 3 days before the season, was like, hey, I know that I said no initially, but it works out. I'm like, oh, thank goodness, because we needed one. We needed another returnee. So for 12th place, literally, I think one of two boots from their original tribe before the merge, before the jury. We have John, who like literally was the definition of swap fucked his original season. uh, was doing really well socially on his original tribe, literally got swapped, and then boom, was like voted out with like little to no chance at that point. It was sad to see, but I am hopeful for John this season. I think John is someone who could potentially win this season as well. I think with like we keep talking about this like Fred Noah John thing. I personally think it's going to be a bomb, but I think John will be the one walking away from it. Personally, I think John as well could do damage. And I know my only thing that worries me about John is the comments he made in his prod chat the other day being like, I don't give a fuck who's there. I don't give a fuck what's happening. I'm just going to fuck shit up. And I'm like, I know that like part of it is a joke, but I'm also like, I don't know. I'm interested to see how it goes.
I There's one thing I want in this season, and it's not that I want John Farrell to go home, but if John Farrell goes home, I want it to be at the hands of Fred again because I want to see the absolute crash out that that would turn into. No, but for real, I'm really hoping that John Farrell does well. Like he's probably the person I'm rooting for besides Jaywin. I'm rooting for John Farrell. Truthfully, I think he is such a smart guy. He's I think this could be his cast to run with. Like I could see him getting. I haven't given third. I haven't given fifth place yet. I can see him getting fifth in this scenario. Just someone who can be like extremely like viewed as a jury threat at the end, like as someone who's had to make big moves and stuff like that. And I think like with especially like looking at the comps that we're gonna run, he's gonna be very successful. Like I think he's gonna have a fun time with Food Chain, a very very fun time with Food Chain. If he can make it to if the way I look at it, if he can get to trivia, shut the fuck up, he's gonna win that easily. He just needs to get there. Um, but yeah, John Farrell. If you get fifth place, I'd be very happy. That's all. I'm tired. You guys have comps to run after this.
John Farrell is my winner pick. I will be living my best life ever if he wins. I'm biased, but John Farrell can do no wrong in my book. I have hosted him several times. I have played with him. He is great strategically, physically, socially. He brings great energy. Um, and yeah, that's my winner pick. It could be just a shot in the dark. And he goes out early, but I'm like, I will be rooting for John Farrell every step of the way.
I second that. I think John has what it takes to win. Um, he just has to set himself up. I think he should be fine in this starting tribe. I think he's just trying to manage his threat level in the swap and early merge. But if they let him slip a little bit in the early merge, it's gonna be tough to take him out towards the end game. Um, and he's pretty good in challenges. So if he makes it to merge, he could easily win some key immunities to keep himself safe when he needs it. Um, yeah, I think he has what it takes.
Might have decided to end that by just dying.
There. Um, no, I am a John Farrell fan. It is true. Um, no, that was so damn sad last season. I was really rooting for him. Um, no, I'm trying to compare his game to how I see this game potentially playing out. There's a lot of shit that's gonna be happening that's gonna keep everybody on their fucking toes. Um, if there's anyone I could probably see being remotely level-headed, um, like on a, well, they all will at some shape or form. Um, I believe John could have, or I've at least seen John Farrell with endgame in mind at all times while also thinking of the little details, which is iconic. Love that. How many challenges did they win either with with the team? Because I don't they did not make it to merge, not that I'm remembering.
Did you ask?
Um, immunity wins for John.
They won, I think, like 4 or 5 challenges in a row.
Oh shit. Damn. So good. So pretty
Because
much had a
you got
good run
Wait,
until
they
it
won.
wasn't.
I think it was 4 because then they swapped.
yeah, because we had 16 people that season, so yeah, 4.
Okay, so pretty much was fucking lit until it wasn't. So definitely has the wherewithal to bring the morale, bring everyone together. I think everyone will, kind of bring them in close, maybe as like a leader or a potential like rallying of the troops, if you will, kind of person that people can look to. And I think that's very beneficial for this early stage of the game. I am praying this man does not get swap fucked again because if they allow this man to get to merge, lethal. Absolutely lethal. I'm excited for everyone to play. I know I keep saying that time and time and time again, but I truly am excited to see everyone either fight for their redemption arc or as a rookie, enjoy the fun of the game and like have a kick ass knockdown, drag out fight. This personally is one of my favorite thematically, aside from Hitweave. Um, and knowing what's coming, I can't wait to just allow chaos to ensue and thrive and bring the I know I'm rambling. The deliciousness to this game that I know it's gonna have. So buckle up, y'all.
John, okay, this is another one I see him doing a lot better as well. I think he does also have I do think he has strong in game. He is strong, has strong in-game chances. I was a little nervous because he was busy tonight, and it seemed like the rest of his freaking tribe was popping the heck off, and he was just kind of there. But I feel like he's a good enough talker to where, and good enough socially to where I think he can get himself back up there. Um, but yeah, I have a lot of high potential for John, and I want to see John do well because I feel like that swap fuck from last time in his OG tribe kept winning so many comps. We never really got to see too much like on the gameplay coming from him, and then they immediately voted him out whenever they had to go to tribal. So I definitely am excited to see him play, and I really hope he does. No.
All right, viewers, we are tired, but thank you again for watching. You gotta go. Oh my goodness, you guys are gonna be watching this preseason or postseason. God damn. Uh, well, you guys are gonna be watching this postseason. So if you're watching this postseason, thank you again for an amazing season. We are however many seasons strong with no cancellations. So we're gonna hope that this season stays that way too. Thank you, Prod, for this amazing cast assessment. And we're going to stop this because we got to host some comps for the returnees. Yay!